welcome everyone. Welcome to Set Up and Score. My name is Leigh. I am the Head of Customer Success at ScoreApp, and you're joining the Set Up and Score session. So we run these sessions actually every couple of weeks, and it's just a great opportunity if you've joined us recently, you're building, or if you've just launched, just to go through how it all works and some best practice. So we try and keep it really interactive, and we can share our screens and we can use your examples, and we can answer any questions that you have. So please do feel free to put your hand up at any time, or just take your mic off and just ask away. I've got my colleague Sarah with me today, so she'll be helping with any questions in the chat if anybody wanted to use the chat feature. Before we get started, and while we're just waiting for everybody, would you mind just popping in the chat a little where you are in the process at the moment, so I get a good idea across the board of whether you've just started, whether you haven't started yet, and whether you've built it or launched. That would be wonderful. So you're beginning the draft. Hi, Joe. Hi, Simon. So you're brand new, only found about it yesterday. Oh, that is brand new. Welcome to ScoreApp. Juliet, you're just starting. Is it Ryrie? Just started. Hi. And then we've got Matt, haven't started yet. Alex, just started. Hattie, launched. But not, you haven't got it massively out there yet. So we will be covering some promotion at the end. Scorecard up and running. Hi, Emma, and looking for ways to promote it. Perfect. Maureen just set it up on my website yesterday, not yet customized. Hi, Maureen. Hi, Kerry. We have set up and launched, but looking to improve the numbers. Okay. And then Dave. Hi, just about to start the trial. Patrick will start when tax returns out of the way. Oh, that sounds, yes. That sounds, yeah, I can imagine you're very busy at the moment. So welcome everyone. Let's jump in and get started. So if you are in the very beginning, the very first thing that we need to talk about is the concept for the scorecard. And that's, you know, what you're going to base it on, and it all sort of links to the headline that you're going to use and the value that the scorecard is going to offer your target audience. So successful scorecards are one where it delivers like a true value for your user that's taking it. So if they have all got like this common desire or this common pain point, your scorecard can help them to see sort of where they are on that journey to sort of meeting that desire. So they start off at point A, they take the scorecard and they find out, you know, where they are on that scale to try and get towards point B. So it just gives them some clarity on where they are, and then you can give them some sort of tailored feedback on how to actually go about trying to achieve that goal fully. So for example, if you were, you know, a health and fitness coach, your target audience is common desire would generally to be get fit and healthy. So your scorecard could be along the lines of the discover your health and fitness score. They get their score at the end. They get it broken down in between all the key elements such as nutrition, exercise, and they see where their strengths are, where their weaknesses are, and then they can go about improving their weaknesses. And that is offering some value to your target audience. And in return, you are also getting that lead that you can follow up on, so, and you can tailor and personalize the way that you communicate with them going forward, because you have loads of great data that you've collected about them in the process. So once you've got that concept, it's really trying to put that into a headline that's going to hook your target audience in. So I'm just going to share my screen now. And just bring up some slides. So you can see here, the concept is the idea of your scorecard. And then we transfer that into the hook. So Karen Dyer, she's a client of ours. She helps people with the MS, and she's developed a Are You Ready to Have Success with MS quiz, which is doing really well for her. So there's a number of approaches that we can use to help you develop that headline. So I'm just going to go through those, and then we'll jump into the platform and we'll begin building a scorecard. So based it on that common desire or goal. So in these examples, the key person of influence scorecard, the desire there is to be a key person of influence. And you've got other desires there, such as having that high performing team scorecard, and then a couple of lighter examples, your beach ready scorecard or your good parenting scorecard. I talked earlier about you can base it on that pain or frustration. So we've got some examples for you. Avoid being hacked, fitness injury prevention, so the desire there is to have, a safe, secure network, is to be healthy. So it's just a different way of approaching that title and getting that hook for people to take your scorecard. We've got another two on this slide, and this one works really nicely as a headline. So are you ready to? So are you ready to run a marathon? Take the scorecard. Are you ready to quit smoking? Are you ready to improve your fitness? There is loads of different ways that you could use that particular title. You've then got topical or seasonal ideas. So this may be, and it may be that, you have an idea for more than one scorecard, because we have, each package, even the starter package will include 2 live scorecards. So if something topical comes up, something trending, something newsworthy, it may be that forms the concept of your scorecard. We also we use scorecards ourselves to register people for our webinars. So it's a great way of finding out a little bit more about who's coming to your webinars ahead of actually conducting them. And the very sort of final concept that I wanted to talk about is the highest scoring personality or category style tests. And this you might resonate with, if you choose mostly A's, you are an X type of character, or if you chose mostly B's, you are a certain type of character. You can do that within Score App and give an outcome or a personality style rather than a score. The scoring for that is set up slightly differently. So if anyone's thinking about doing it that way, please let me know, and I will go through that, how to set that up as well. So given that we've just talked about some concepts, some headlines, it would be really nice if you're able to just pop in the chat. You may not have had much time to think about this yet, but just kind of your thoughts on, your concept. You don't have to put it into a headline, but just to kind of see what examples we have within our audience today. So you like that? Are you ready to? Great. So Marion, what is it that what are you basically basing the scorecard on? So financial planning, retirement ready. So yep, are you retirement ready? Take the scorecard. That one works really nicely. The confident speaker scorecard. Yep, discover your confident speaker score. You could use that in multiple different headlines. Are you fit for funding? So that one would just need to be, is your business fit for funding? And it could be like a checklist, take the checklist, make you've got everything in place. Strength of the value, so the SWOT of the firm value. Yep, so audit your company's strengths, weaknesses, opportunities and threats. Yep, that one could work. I also love, are you ready to? Yeah, it's a great one, that one. Are you ready to get from stuck to success? Are you ready to move from stuck to success? And that one, I think it just needs to be a bit more like, if that's personal, if that's business. So a little bit more of an explanation around that one. Are you paying too much tax? I mean, that is a hook, isn't it? Because that's topical, and yeah, I like that one. Discover your spill risk. Yep. Are you ready? Absolutely. Are you ready to unlock your coaching genius? Yep, I like that one. Do you have a will? Do you have a will? We would need to put that one into a headline. So that one would be maybe the successful will scorecard. I'm just trying to think how we would package that one up into a headline, but absolutely great concept for a scorecard. Are you ready to start your own surveying business? Yeah, really, it's clear what it does. And yeah, I like that one. CEO personality traits. Yep. that one could be a personality test. It makes it more sort of light-hearted. So yeah, I like the idea of that one. Are you ready to take the next step in your career? Yeah, great. Are you ready to take your IT services business to the next level? Yeah, and I think with the next level, it's nice to be a bit more like, you know, thinking about what that desire is. Is it to increase the profits? Is it to, you know, increase your sales? Is it to, you know, upscale and sell? So just like narrowing down what that next level is would be really useful. Are you ready for promotion? Yeah. Are you ready to be your own boss? Yeah. And how good an ally are you? So that how good an ally are you? Yep, I like that one. So brilliant. Thank you so much for sharing those ideas with me. There's some really, really lovely ideas there that I think are all going to be very successful. So now we've got that, we're going to jump into the platform and we are going to, hopefully you've logged in, or if you haven't yet started your trial, this will be sort of a first overview of what it looks like. So you can see we've got the blue bar along the left-hand side. A lot of the work that we're going to do today is in the builder, and that's setting the scorecard up. Before you get to this point, you will be asked whether you want to choose a template or start without a template. If there is a template there that's closely related to your concept, then I would recommend choosing it. If there isn't, I would recommend starting without a template, because there are landing page structures, there are results page structures, even if you haven't chosen to go with a template. So sometimes if there's nothing relevant, it would be easier for you to start without a template. And it's great if there is a template there that you can tailor. So once you've decided which route you're going to come down, you will, if you go to the scorecard builder, we're going to start on landing pages today. So this is the page that you drive traffic towards. And if I click on the square box with the arrow pointing out, this is my URL. So this is what I use to send out to people to drive traffic towards the scorecard. Now, on our starter package, you can customize the name and the code. So we'll have .scoreapp.com on the end, and you can do that under settings. So you can customize this element here. If you are on the advanced package, you also have the option of including your custom domain name as well. And in that way, you go to accounts, domains, and we can talk you through that process of how to do that. So landing page wise, when you get here, if you've chosen a template, you can click on that landing page that's in your list to begin editing it. If you've chosen to do it without a template, you could click on Create Landing Page. Now, here are the landing page structures that I mentioned earlier. So if there's something you like the design of, then you could choose that, and then everything's customizable. So you can put your logos, your colors, your fonts. You can also start without a template, which is what I quite like to do, because all of the available sections you can add. And I'm just going to show you now by clicking on one of the landing pages I have in my list. You can see now we're in the editor, we have got the ability to add a section. So if I click on add a section, you can see that we've got different main banner styles that you could select from. So if you've got a particular image, you think, yeah, that would work really well in that banner style, then you can add that and then add the image. We've also got some banners where you've got the sign up form on the banner. And then we've got a number of different call to actions. And on the landing page, that's always going to be to start the actual scorecard or quiz or assessment. We've got testimonial sections. So that can work quite nicely to add some examples of how the scorecard has benefited other people. If you're using categories, you can use one of these category sections to explain what they're going to be measured based upon. You can add videos into your landing page. We more commonly see them on the results page, but it is obviously an option that's available. And then you've got other content sections. So it may be that you want to put a section in that talks about who you are and why you've created this scorecard, or you'd like to explain how it works and what the benefits are. You can find relevant sections here. Once you've added all the different sections that you'd like, you can move them around. So if you hover over them, you can see some dots and you can drag and drop them into different positions. So I'd recommend getting that structure, and then you can go through each section by section. So if I click on this very top one, this is where I would upload my logo. And then each of the different sections has also got a style option as well. So you can see I've added my logo here, then I can click on style and choose to make it bigger should I wish to. I could choose to position it in the center or on the right. So it's worth having a look at all of the different sort of formatting options. If I click on this main banner here, I've got the formatting toolbar, so I could highlight my text, I could change the color of it. So there's the formatting options are quite lengthy. So that's how you could create the structure for your landing page. You can have as many landing pages in your list as you like to, but just one of them needs to be published and made your home page. So if you click on the top right, you're going to be able to see here, you can make it default. You can also see what it looks like on mobile versus what it looks like on desktop. So you can make sure that you're happy with both appearances there. So I'm going to just go through some slides in terms of best practice, in terms of landing page. And then if anyone's got a landing page that they'd be happy for us to have a look at, and then that would be great for us to go through on screen and just discuss a bit more. So sorry, I'm just trying to move my screen up there. There we go. Right. So landing page wise, clear, credible, and interesting copy. So that's the headline, you know, having the hook in there, having information about how it's going to help them, or even just resonating with someone's situation, you know, talking to them about how they might be feeling, you know, how this tool can be useful to them. State the time investment. So it's important that people know how long it's going to take. And I'll go through this later on in the presentation. We talk about the number of questions and what we recommend for each of the different audiences. Be clear on what they will get from taking the scorecard. So it doesn't have to be a physical prize, but it's just those benefits, you know, and it's just, again, bringing through that value of how it's going to help them. Keeping your branding consistent, and that's across all of the elements, so the landing page, the questions, going on to the results as well. We do think it's really nice to include information about yourself or the company that's created this scorecard, and we'd always recommend that that's linked to why you've created the scorecard. So we'd avoid being sales orientated on the landing page, but instead just focus on all the value. So it could be that, you know, we are Score App, we have had 10 years experience in helping people generate leads. We've got this proven formula, and we've created this scorecard as a tool to help others with our learn our methodology and have success. So that's just an example. Testimonials we spoke about earlier, so they can be really nice on the landing page, but again, linking them to, you know, how that scorecard has helped other people on their journey. If you do have any bonuses, so we have lots of scorecards where people will give away, if they've got a book, a physical copy of the book. It may be that you can promote free tickets to a webinar or a free appointment. So they're nice incentives that you could include on the landing page. And then the final one is the call to action on the landing page is to take the scorecard. So is anyone happy to just pop the link, or just give me a shout if you're happy, and we'll have a look at some examples. Let me just bring up the chat. Happy to share mine. Okay, so Hattie, we're going to bring up yours. Is it the solidarity scorecard? Let's have a look. Okay, so I'm going to go for that one. inclusivity. I got the wrong one. I had a 50-50 chance there. Okay, so let's have a look. Everybody's talking about allies. What does that mean for your business? So I think headline wise, I like to identify that it's a score, that you're going to get a score. And I like to use one of those examples to make it more of a hook. So I think that one, everyone's talking about, what does this mean for your business? Improve your company's diversity and inclusion efforts. So it could be, are you ready to improve your company's diversity and inclusion efforts? You know, take the scorecard. So that could be a possible idea there. The imagery is nice. Improve your company's diversity, take there. And I think if you use that for, you change the headline, so improve your company's, are you ready to improve your company's diversity inclusion? I think you could put more about the benefits. So, you know, answer X number of questions in less than 2 minutes, discover your score, and, you know, discover and learn how you can support marginalized people in your business. So that would be my suggestion. Take the quiz now. It's a lot easier than you might think. I think visually, there's quite a lot of text in there. So we want to keep it quite short, sharp, bring those messages across in a simplistic way. So it's a lot easier than you might think. Find out how this tool can help your business. So it's nice, you know, how is it going to help me? I like that kind of section, but I think it's just maybe using bullet points and maybe breaking it up with an image would be my advice here as well. You know, things like, you know, it leads to a happier workforce, increased productivity, creativity. Those are all those ultimate prizes, the ultimate benefit. So it'd be nice if they were really brought out. So we're the A team, got nearly 100 years experience, the right to be treated with respect, are award-winning with companies, resulting as well, find out more about services. Okay, so it's lovely text. It's got a lot of information about you. Again, I think it could be summarized a little bit further. And I also think just this content here, let us help your company. Again, I think it might be that comes across as sales focused rather than the value focused. So I would just switch the wording on that a little bit to just make it like why you've developed this tool. You know, the opportunity becomes on the results page to start showcasing your services and how you can help them, and also in the follow-up sequences. So just on the landing page, it's just about the value in taking the quiz. So we've got this is nice, answer 10 questions in less than 2 minutes, take the inclusivity indicator quiz. And I think there's just a little bit, just keeping it consistent. So whatever you've named it at the top, then you would connect with that at the bottom. Huge thanks just for wonderful images from Unsplash. So it looks really nice. There's some really good information in there. I think it's just consolidating a little bit more and just making sure that that headline, I would test some alternative headlines. So I hope that's helped, Hattie. If you've got any questions, feel free to sort of unmute and let me know. Otherwise, has anyone else got any landing page they would like to share? Yes, excellent. So Kerry, yes, okay, lovely. So you've got yours embedded on your website, which looks great. Discover your spill risk score. Take the test to discover the areas you need to focus on to keep your business compliant. Take the scorecard. Okay. Okay, so actually landing page wise, because you've embedded it on your website, we only see that section of the, so we haven't actually got much of a landing page there, which is great. Kerry, are you okay just to unmute a moment? I just wonder, thinking about the journey that they're going on, you know, to get to this page. So if your advertising is clear and you have that section on the website, and it's clear, then okay, so Kerry, I think the embed looked really great. I think the headline says exactly what it is. So thank you for sharing that with us. We'll just do one more, and that's Emma. Are you a confident speaker? Assess how well you speak in work situations. I like that. Are you a confident speaker? My only thought with that one, I wonder if you want people to feel inspired that it's speaking to their goal. And I wonder if people would be a little bit like not wanting to find out if they weren't a confident speaker. So that's my thoughts on the headline. Assess how well you speak in work situations. Even if it was discover your confident speaker score, so it doesn't come out just as a yes or no, would be my thoughts on that. Instantly find out the best and quickest way for you to become a confident speaker based on your unique results. Okay, one of the things I think the yellow text, I think, is a little bit difficult to read against the background. Also, when you have the sign up form on the main banner, I think that this copy here has to make sure that the value in taking the quiz is really strong, because they're sort of getting the form thinking, okay, well, I've got to enter my details. Whereas if they read all the value and they're like, oh, this sounds brilliant, this is exactly what I need, then it's not acting as sort of a barrier up front. So it could be that you try an alternative banner style without the form. And these things are just worth testing. I'm going to show you where you can, you know, make sure you can analyze your conversion rate for your landing page. So if you've launched it and you want to keep making tweaks to it, that would be one of the things that I would suggest. So don't just take a word for it. So it's a wonderful learn. There's a lot to take in, but Emma paced it well, has a relaxed style, which making the class fun. A standing course. Okay, so we've gone from there into testimonials about a course, which I just think is too soon. That's the kind of information that we would love to see on the results page. So here it should be how it works, you know, how it's going to help me, that kind of information. So uncover your speaking strengths and weaknesses. Yeah, so I would trial some different headlines. I would trial a different banner style, and I would add some more content in along the lines of what we've discussed. So I'd add an about you section, why you've created it. If you're going to use testimonials, I'd use them about how the scorecard's been useful, and I would add some content about the benefits of doing this quiz and how it's going to help them become a confident, happy speaker. Yeah, fab. Thank you so much. Okay, so that's the landing page. So once somebody's arrived at your landing page, they're going to start the quiz, and then they're going to start going through the questions. So we're going to move on to questions now. And you can see here we've got categories and questions. So if we don't use categories, it will give somebody an overall score. And then you're going to be able to break that down into score tiers, so you can acknowledge if someone scored low, medium, or high. If you use categories, they'll get an overall score, but you can also deliver a score against each of those categories as well. And so they're particularly useful to highlight strengths and weaknesses. So in this case of like well-being performance, the categories are exercise, sleep, and stress. They're really meaningful to the target consumer because they automatically know that they're doing well in one thing but not well in the other. So if you've got categories that are going to be relevant and useful to your target audience, then I'd recommend that you add them. And it's just as simple as adding category, giving it a name. You don't have to worry about the description initially, so just give it a name. Then you can pop your questions under each one of your categories, and you've got a number of different question formats you can use. So yes, no, maybe. And some people, you know, the scoring is something that some people have sort of questions about. So I am just going to delve into that. And again, please jump in if you do have any questions. But yes, no, maybe is the simplest question for somebody to answer. We recommend keeping it factual. And I wouldn't recommend, asking someone what their mobile bill was 3 months ago, so they have to go and check it. Keep it factual, keep it simple. And the questions can be thought-provoking in themselves as well. Somebody can go, oh, actually, I'm not doing that. So it can help with all those light bulb moments. But if you write your question, and if, for example, the question was, do you sleep more than 8 hours a night? And you answered yes, then that would score a point because it's the positive answer. And if they answered no, they wouldn't score any points. You can add a third option if you want to, and mostly. And if you use mostly, it may be that no's 0, mostly is 1, and yes is 2. So it goes up in strength of answer. You've then got scales. You can make that scale however big you'd like it to be. So if it was a scale, for example, of 1 to 10, that would mean that there's 10 points available. And wherever the user places themselves on the scale is how many points they've achieved. Multiple choice buttons, you can write your question, how many hours a night do you sleep? And if they say, you could have one of your answer options is 8 hours, and that could be the top scoring point, which is 3. The next one could be 7, which scores 2. So you go up in terms of strength of that answer. The other question formats we've got, multiple choice checkboxes, that would be the question to use if you want people to tick more than one answer. So if you're saying on the question, tick all that apply, then it's multiple choice checkboxes that you'd need. Multiple choice radio buttons are where if you've got a really long answer option that's not going to look good in a button format, then I'd recommend choosing that one. And you've got open text. So that's good for any other information that you'd like to know, but it's not a scored question. So it's just for your information. Okay, so they're all your questions. What it will do is it will add up the total amount of points per category and overall. So in exercise, if I had 10 points available and the person taking my scorecard got 5 out of 10, it converts it to a percentage. It says, okay, you scored 50%, and it decides what score tier it falls into based on these percentage ranges that you have entered here. So you'll find these under results and score tiers. There'll be default settings in there that look just like this when you get in there, but you can tailor them. So you can add tiers, change the labels. Sometimes it's quite nice just to go, low burnout risk or, needs improvement. So you can use different terminology. And I'll show you on the results page how we can then use those tiers to deliver some dynamic content. But in terms of question numbers, I just wanted to share with you what we recommend here. So if it's a cold lead scorecard, we'd recommend fewer questions, just as they haven't had any experience from you. This is their first interaction, and it's just being mindful of how long they're going to invest in it. So we recommend 1 or 2 categories with around 8 to 15 questions. Warmer leads, you could do 3 to 7 categories with 20 to 50 questions. And if it's a client or onboarding, then really the sky's the limit in terms of the number of questions that you need to ask to onboard that particular client. We also have other use cases for scorecards as well. So this is just focused on lead generation, but it may be that you want to use it for pre-qualification or, like I say, onboarding. So these are the recommended numbers for lead generation. So with the questions, please let me know, or just raise your hand and I can answer any questions about scoring. And like I say, the personality scoring or the highest outcome set up slightly differently. So if anyone is thinking about delivering that, let me know. Okay, fab. And we will also do questions at the end as well. So we've got another opportunity later. So now we've covered the questions. Once they finish the questions, they will see the results page. And the results page will give them their score, and it will give them all these lovely hints and tips about what they can do to improve their score. So you'll have, you will actually I need to go back a step here, you will need to click on create result page. So if you didn't use a template, click on create result page. And you can see we have some different templates there for you to choose from. Again, you could equally start without a template, which is what I prefer to do, because you can just add the design that you like. So I'm going to just choose one that I've started work on earlier. Okay, so you start by thanking them for taking the scorecard. You're going to deliver their overall score typically, and there's different ways you can present that overall score. So if you go to add section and you look at the results, you can see that we've got percentages, donut charts, pie charts, spider diagrams. We've got the speedometer, the thermometer, and the traffic lights. And the thermometer and the traffic lights are sort of new additions that we've added recently. So that's a really nice visual way to show somebody, where their score is. So once you've chosen the particular way you want to deliver the overall score, you can also enable dynamic content. So if you slide this on, you'll notice that you've got your score tiers here, and you can write in your content for the low score, write in the content for the medium, and they all sit there in the platform, and it will just show the user the one that is connected with their score. So best practice would be to acknowledge their score, so you know exactly where they're at. You say, and it's all very encouraging wording. So don't worry if you scored low, you've taken the first step to being able to continue on your journey, or congratulations, you've scored really well, follow our advice, to optimize your score even further, for example. So once you've delivered that overall score, you can then, if you've used categories, you can start to focus on displaying their category scores. Again, if you go to add section, there's different ways you could present the categories. So we've got 3 different designs here. If you just wanted a summary, then that middle section's quite nice. If you're going to go into detail, then I think that bottom one's quite nice, and you get to include an icon as well. So choose the style that you like. And then you'll see each of your categories, and you'll be able to slide on dynamic content and do exactly the same. So you've got your low, medium, and high. So you could do you're doing great in this category. That's really good. Exercises. If you're not doing very well, make sure you're walking 10,000 steps. You are doing some resistance training every week. And I always recommend that you link the advice there to the question. So if you've asked, do you walk 10,000 steps a day? Do you exercise 3 times a week? If they've scored low, you know that they're not doing the majority of those things. So you kind of link your advice to the questions. Same as if they've scored high, you know that they're doing those things well, and you can give them some extra advice, add this to your workout, for example. On this page as well, we would, this is where you want to include your call to actions. So add a section, call to actions. One of the most popular call to actions is to book a discovery call. We see a lot of joining a community. That could be a good next step. It could be that you're taking them to download a book, and that's the next step in the journey, or they're going to get access to a free webinar. So you have your main call to action on this page, and then you've got the opportunity to integrate with a CRM, so you can send further call to actions in your follow-up sequences. You may want to, on this page, start to put more information about who you are, your testimonials. So all of the categories that were available on the landing page are available to add here, but the key elements are overall score, category scores, call to action, acknowledging their score, giving them some light bulb moments that they can take away, and it's giving them a little bit of information that they'd like, but obviously leaving them wanting that little bit more, so they take the next step. That would be my advice on the results page. If you are on the starter package, the output is the results page. So this is what they see, but the Score App platform will also fire off an email with a link back to that page, so they get to keep it and refer to it. And that's called the result email here. So just make sure it's switched on, and you can personalize this area. If you're on the advanced package, you also have the functionality of developing a PDF report. So your results screen that they see at the end of the questions, you might want to make it more of a summary, just making it clear that their full results have been emailed to them in the PDF. The PDF feature, again, I'd advise starting without a template. And then when you go to add a page, you can see that, we've got a number of different front covers. All of it's fully customizable. We've got intro and outro pages. So you'd introduce, a thank you for taking the scorecard, a welcome. You can display their overall score. You can show them the summary of their category scores. And then you can start to drill down into each category and give them the description of the category and some tips to improve their score. And we've also got lots of call to action pages as well. So the PDF is a great incentive in itself. And it's a great medium to house more information if that's relevant to your target audience. If you are using the PDF report in your result email, you would just pick up the merge field for the report as opposed to the results page. So would anybody like me to take a look at their results page before we move on? And actually, I was going to show you how, because I know for some people there's like, oh, well, I'd need to write 3 different versions of content for here and for here. But with the addition of ChatGPT that's just been launched, and I'm sure you've all heard of it, it can take a lot of the heavy lifting out of it. So Hattie, let's have a look at your results page. We might still have it open, which would be super handy. So let's have a look. The results. Thank you for taking the inclusivity indicator quiz. So we've used the spider diagram. So it's really nice because I can see that I'm doing really well here. But the other skills not so well in. So when you're in the builder, which is what I am, it doesn't correlate with here. So then I've got some overall score content, which is dynamic, is it? This score indicates that you have a good understanding. This score reflects a very good understanding. So it's nice. The score maybe an indication that there is more learning to do in order to become a more effective ally. So I think that's nice. I think that's quite a soft way to say, that they've scored in the low bracket. This is perfect opportunity to reflect on your skills and commitments as an ally and identify areas where you can improve. And we can all benefit from learning. Yeah, I think that's nice, motivating content. Please enjoy your results. If you're interested in using to improve your companies, we encourage you to book a discovery. So take 20 minutes to help us tailor something specially for you. Please enjoy your results. So in this bit, in this call to action, could it be more, the content could be more about how you can deep dive into their answers that they've given you and then start to make recommendations that are relevant to them.
I've just unmuted myself just so that I can say the inclusivity indicator, the purpose of it is to talk to companies, HR, people like that who are in charge of that area in their businesses. So this is not for individual consumption, this particular one. The other one, the solidarity scorecard, is more for individuals and does give a lot more advice. Whereas this one just goes into, okay, so this is how we can use the tool in your company to increase the inclusivity within your company. Okay. So that's why it's set up like it is.
Okay, that's a good idea. Maybe a bit more background just to say, if you've enjoyed taking this tool and you think it would be a useful tool, to use internally in your company, then, please feel free to book in a call. Because I think it's a really good idea. Inclusivity indicator scores in the following area. Just listen. So here we haven't got the dynamic content. We've got the description.
That's right, yeah.
So that would be my advice, is just to deliver some more value there by acknowledging their score and giving them some things that they can start to think about and some best practice in that area.
Okay, so so if you carry on to the bottom of the page,
Yeah.
so where it says take a look at the course, that links to our website where it's got about the course.
Yeah. Okay.
So that's why I didn't put it above.
Okay.
What's your advice there?
I think my advice there is still to, make sure that you, I think just by using dynamic content, it makes people feel understood, that you know where they are at the moment and the issues that they're facing. So I think it's always good to acknowledge it just by saying great score, or, this area requires focus. And I still think it's good to give them some value by, it doesn't have to be a lot, but just a little something to think about. I think that would be useful. What makes a great ally? In our 5-point program, we look at the 5 key areas: convenient design. These courses can be delivered in person or online. I think take a look at the course here. Yeah, and then presumably, have you got a follow-up sequence in place where you can send them further information about the
I've got only if they contact us.
Okay.
Yes. We can only if they contact us, because we haven't set up a sequence yet.
Yeah, I think a sequence is a really great idea. And I think I think many of you have probably heard Daniel Priestley, one of our founders, talk in other webinars. And it's that sort of, multiple interactions with yourself before they make that purchase. So it may be that they've taken the scorecard and that you then send them, a free webinar recording or a free download, and they start to build up that relationship with you, sort of heading towards, the main sale, if that makes sense.
Yeah. Okay.
Thank you, Hattie.
Thanks.
Okay, so if you ChatGPT is like, I create scorecards all the time, and I'm like literally blown away, and I never want to stop being blown away, because every time I put something in and it just delivers me great content, I'm like, wow. So as a tool to help you with your scorecard, we are actually working on integrating AI into Score App. But until that time, if you have got access to it, it's absolutely fantastic. And I wanted to show you how you could use it. So here I've put in suggest headlines for a quiz about improving your money confidence. And it's given me, 10 different options. Some of them are, really good, and it can just start that process or give you an idea that you can take forward. Then, for example, if I was writing on the landing page why this quiz is important, I've said, why is being confident with money important? And it's given me some great content here, all about reducing anxiety, making effective decisions, saving tax, all of that. So you can put all of that into your landing page. I didn't actually, but if I even entered, write, what questions could I ask? Could I ask to assess someone's money confidence? So how comfortable are you discussing your finances? How confident do you feel when making financial decisions? How well do you understand financial terms and concepts? So you can see it's absolutely brilliant. I don't know how long it's going to go on for. Okay, so that just shows you how it can help with your landing page, how it can help with your questions. And then even when it gets to your results page, I think I typed in it earlier here. Did I? What advice would you give to someone who scored low in a money confidence quiz? If someone scored low, there are several pieces of advice that can be offered them to help improve their score as well. So I'd really recommend that you utilize this tool if sort of writing the content, if you need that extra sort of help with preparing the content. I think I did my first quiz, and I actually, from start to finish, it was a starter one, but I managed to do it in about 2 hours, which I thought was not to make it look all, but to get the crux of it there. So it's a fantastic tool. Other things on the platform that I wanted to talk about, and then we'll just finish with promotion and questions, is that if you come to the home area here, there's a courses section. So I know you'll get the recording from today and hopefully this has helped, but if you, when you're building it, there's an element that you're not sure about, if you go to courses and then we've got lots of little videos about each of the elements. So you could go visit the landing page one, the lead form one. So that's a useful place for you to visit. We've also got insights here. So once you've launched your scorecard, sorry, Hattie, I was in yours then, you will see how many visitors have arrived at your scorecard, how many have gone on to start it, and that gives you a conversion figure. So at a minimum, that conversion figure, we wouldn't like to see it tracking below 20%. And we do have scorecards that are operating around sort of 50 to 60%. So if it's tracking below 20%, it could be that the landing page needs optimizing, the targeting, you need to look at the targeting of people arriving at the landing page, or the concept for the scorecard. So that would be my advice there. You've got the leads feature here, so you can download and export your leads directly from the platform should you wish to, or you can also integrate with a CRM. So these are the CRMs that we integrate with. If yours isn't listed, then Zapier is available, and it often acts as a bridge between many other different platforms. You've got your share feature here. So this gives you the ways that you can embed it on your website. And you've also got this share appearance here, and this controls the way it looks once it's shared on social media platforms. So I'd recommend you giving it a title, a description, and an image. And that's particularly useful. We do have, if you'd like to refer ScoreApp, in your account, you will find a referral section. You've got a unique code there that you can share with people, and you can earn up to 22% commission of whatever they spend for up to 12 months. So we'd love you to be a part of that if that was of interest. And I think that's everything I wanted to cover on the functionality to get you started. In terms of promotion, I'm just going to share my slides one more time. We've got a great document called 29 different ways to promote your scorecard, which Cher, if you don't mind popping in the chat, that's really useful because it covers some absolutely fantastic ideas. But the main top level ideas are to include it on your website. It would be to mail it out to an existing list if you've got one. It would be to share on your social media profiles, share as a post, also have it in all your profile information. And if you can use it as the call to action on other posts as well that you do. So if it's just something completely unrelated, don't forget to take the scorecard. And it's a way of capturing those people that are reading your posts. If you do any podcasts, videos, blogs, again, the scorecard can be a great call to action that you could include as a link at the end of those. We talked about events and workshops and how you can use scorecards to register. You could also use them midpoint to recap someone's learning halfway through. You can use it for feedback afterwards. So there's different use cases there. Joint venture partnerships is another nice one. If you've got a relationship of where you can leverage each other's assets for mutual value, that could be a great idea. And they're all organic methods. Obviously, you've then got the paid for advertising route. So you could run Facebook ads, run Google ads as well. So that would be that. They're the main top level. Please look at the 29 different ways to promote your scorecard, because that's got some other really useful ideas in it. So that's bringing us to the end. Has anyone got any questions that I can help with? I'll just give it a moment, see if anyone's got any questions. Yes, Joel, how can I help?
So I was just wondering if you had any kind of mindset advice around how you design or think about questions, because that's where I'm getting a bit balled up, is in designing the questions in a way that is, on one side, makes sense and is easy, but can also track back to sensible, meaningful scores and advice. I don't know if there's some kind of magic wand you can wave for me about that, but I'd love to hear about that.
Well, I often think it's almost like the questions you would ask if you were going to start working with somebody that qualifies them. So I don't know if that helps at all. But what is your concept? And a little bit about what you were thinking in terms of basing the scorecard on.
So there's a specific set of ideas that I have around what makes a difference between a mechanical coach and someone who's in the top 1 to 4%. So the questions kind of lead into whether they're creating resistance in the healing space, or whether they're but there's specific things that they might do that they're not aware of that would put that in the way, which would then generate more resistance on them, more burnout in them, and on the clients as well. So in terms of questions, I suppose I've been trying to break down into the categories of what are the areas.
Yeah.
I'm not sure on the balance of whether it's like, what do you show and what do you hide, so that the reveal is kind of stronger in terms of what the impact of that is, and then how they can improve it.
Yeah. Well, in terms of what you show, you're showing, your score across all of those questions. They're not going to have a very detailed breakdown of their scores. It's as a category as a whole. Do you have like any sort of methodology? Sometimes like there's like a 6-step process. Do you have anything like that?
Well, no, it's kind of the whole thing is set up as a lead in, or warming up a lead into the main mastery training program. Okay. At its essence, it's the agendaless way. It's kind of, that's always the paradox here.
Yeah.
But I certainly have aspects of it that are I've identified as factors that bring in resistance into the healing space. So agenda, dogma, and then self-consciousness in the negative way would be the 3 main ones.
Yeah, I think once you've got those categories nailed, I was just thinking, mindset could be one, clients could be one. So I suppose if you're trying to assess how successful they are, do you get referrals from clients? Questions that are going to give you an idea of how well they're doing, how well they're feeling in themselves. You can ask on a scale of 1 to 10, how confident do you feel? So I think it's just trying to ask questions that's going to give you an idea of where somebody is, and then you can start to give them advice about where they'd like to be.
Okay, that's helpful. Can I ask one more follow-up question on that?
Yeah.
It's to do with the sliders and the scoring, so I can understand it. So let's say we have a bunch of yes, no questions because they're obvious or not. And then you have a sliding scale. If it's on a 1 to 10 and it gives 10 points, whereas the yes and no might give 1 or 2 points. Mm-hmm. Is there a way to figure out the maths on the balance of those things?
Yeah. So what I think what you're saying is, if you've got if all categories have an equal impact over the overall score, you want to keep the weight of each category balanced. So if you have got a scale in one that's got 10 points, you then might have to upweight some of the yes, no questions to balance that out. So I would quite often do that. If I've got a scale in one category and then I've got 5 yes, no questions, I might make each yes, no question, the yes worth 2 points, so that it's the same balance, if that makes sense.
Okay, fantastic. Thanks. I just saw that Sarah posted a link to a good looking article there for me. Thanks very
Fantastic.
much. It's been great. Cheers.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Anybody else got any questions that I can help with? Yes.
I've got a quick question, if that's all right.
Of course.
Thank you. So I've got 2 result pages when I go to the result page. I'm not sure if it's doubled up. So it says result page and then it says main result page. Should there only be one?
No, basically you can have as many pages in your list, but you do need to have one that's published and made default, and that will be the one that's connected with your scorecard. So quite often you can have like a draft one and then you can start a new one. But as long as the one that you want is the default one, you'll be fine.
Okay, because I was just confused whether I had to produce 2, but it is only one that gets produced and then gets sent out. Okay, that's great. Good, because I finished it and I was like, oh my God, I've got a whole other thing to write, but that makes it useful. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
That's great, Leah. Thank you. It's been really useful.
Oh, I'm glad. Thank you so much. Anyone else that would like to ask a question, feel free. I'm conscious we're at time, so anyone that doesn't have any questions, thank you so much for joining. Our support team are, you can contact us at support@scoreapp.com, live chat, book in a call at any time. We're more than happy to help with anything technical, help with your concept, help with feedback. So please do reach out to us in one of those ways. And if you haven't already joined our community, Facebook community, please do, because there's some great ideas in there as well. And it would be lovely to see you. So thank you, guys. Anyone else got a question? Feel free to stay on. But otherwise, thank you. Bye.
Hello.
Hello, how are you?
Hi, I'm good. Leigh, quick question. Is it possible that we can run 2 scorecards at the same time? Or just one, because we only have to set one default landing page and results page?
No, so you can run 2 completely different scorecards at the same time. So they would have their own URLs because the starter package includes 2 live scorecards. The advanced package includes 6 live scorecards.
Okay. The default word got me confused at the start.
Yeah. So you've got like draft mode here means that you can develop the scorecard and it's not available in the public domain. It means you can test it and those responses aren't counted. When you're ready for it to be available in the public domain, just take that off. That's live. Then you can create a completely new scorecard as well.
Thank you.
Thank you. Hi, anyone else would like
Sorry,
to?
can you hear me?
Yep, I can.
Okay. Hi, Sarah. Hi, Leigh. Hi. Thanks for that. So I wanted to find out, I have a VA that works with me. She does all my social media and she's going to be mainly in charge of this. She's all the way in Indonesia. She was on earlier, but I think it's like 11 o'clock over there.
Okay.
And so I was interacting with her, asking her if she was getting it, because I've tried to create a scorecard. It's just, for me, it's not an easy thing for me to crack. She's more sort of tech savvy.
Okay.
So that's why I wanted her to. So I asked her how. She said, it's still sort of all over the place for her. I think she needs to be exposed maybe one more time. So I was thinking, when you do these webinars or demos, maybe, I don't know if this is possible, as you're doing it, as you're talking about it, sort of doing it at the same time, encouraging people to get on. Say, if you want to create a scorecard, I know that could take forever because there are many different people on. Is it something that's possible where people can try to create it as you're talking? So, because that's the sort of learner that I am. I have to do it to get it, as somebody's talking me through it. Is that a possibility? Because it's still quite fuzzy to me. I know that I have her as a VA and she's gonna learn, but I also want to know how to do it.
Yeah, of
Um,
course.
So, and make sure that I'm actually optimizing the app.
Yeah, I mean, what we can do is
Mhm.
you can book in a one-to-one session, so that might be better just to focus on you. That is actually, they are 30-minute sort of slots, but
Mhm.
we can then set you a task to do, you know, you can then book in another call and we can see how you're getting on against that task.
Okay,
So that
right.
that's the option. The
Yeah,
other,
that would work. So I would invite her to it as well.
yeah,
How do we, are you gonna send me an email so we can book it, or how's that gonna work?
yes, I can send you. So Juliet Morrison,
Yes,
is the account in your name?
yes.
Yeah, we'll just send you an email with the Calendly link and then you can schedule that at a convenient time.
Okay, sounds good.
Yeah,
Yes. Thank you so much, ladies, and have a great afternoon.
and you. Thank you. Bye.
Bye, bye-bye.